Alright guys, let's take a look at Tezos or XTZ on the channel for the first time since this candle right here on the 20th of July, guys. And yeah, we can make an argument of two trend lines here basically. And first trend line is here extending back to beginning of December, and basically we have a touch point back in July. And we can see that it has not broken it yet. Now, it doesn't really matter which trend line we look at the moment. Basically, if we put this trend line here at the middle of December, you can see it has some touch points too. It did have kind of a fake out in July, if that's the case. And right now, it looks like it's pressing up against this resistance. So, again, I would just, say that probably this is more of a zone of resistance. But once we clear this, if we were going to, for example, clear this today, we would have to get above about $1.01. Now, because Tezos has been trading for a long time, guys, you can see the full chart history here in Binance. And yeah, we are just over here, guys. And the point of control is sitting above us at about $1, let's just say, and 2 cents. So that is this red line right here. So we still haven't crossed that yet. We are about 11.5, or let's just say 12 cents below that at the moment, guys. So we need to get above that, but basically I would say once we get above about $1.58, we're going to take out the three largest candlesticks here. It's going to be a little bit easier to go up. We do have this little candlestick here, but it's about the same size as this one here. But basically, if we clear this at $3 and let's say 3 cents, guys, the trading just, you can see it goes down. There's not much holding Tezos back when it comes to trading volume. Now, jumping over to the Bollinger Bands, guys, you can see basically it did get a pinch back in October of 24. That's why you see this large candlestick on the monthly time frame. Now, we don't really have anything pinching on a monthly time frame as of now. If we look at the weekly, though, this is a little bit interesting. Now, we did get a pinch back in November of 24. It led to this run right here. But we do have a little bit of a pinch here back in the beginning of July. So the week of the 7th of July, this line comes in and this line also comes down, and they pinch each other. Now, it didn't run up too much, guys. I mean, it ran up to about, let's say, $1.25. And then it came back down and got back inside the Bollinger Bands. But these bands are still looking like they want to expand, unfortunately. So on a weekly time frame, at the moment, nothing is really pinching. Now, on a daily time frame, again, it did have a pinch back in beginning of July, like most cryptos, guys. Now, we're not really getting a pinch at the moment. It's kind of riding parallel almost, although this is slightly pointed upwards here. Maybe we can say it pinched, yesterday? Because this came in and this came down. But yeah, I just think they're going to run parallel for a while. But it isn't as wide as it was before, like you see here. But again, not really pinching too much. So with the Bollinger Bands, I don't think there's any action really because of this. Now, when it comes to the RSI and stochastic here, we do have the stochastic actually coming out of the oversold territory. It's just crossed the red line and it's pointed pretty heavily to the upside. The RSI is also pointed pretty heavily to the upside and right in neutral territory. So monthly time frame looks good. Weekly, it looks like the blue line wants to come back up and cross this red line again. So yeah, it may make a move to the upside here, I believe. It's a weekly time frame though, so it's going to be a little bit slow to turn. We'll probably see this in the next week or two. RSI kind of flat but slightly pointed up. So in my opinion, the stochastic is down at the moment, but I just think this is going to curve up. So in my opinion, weekly time frame not too bad. Daily time frame, we have a cross of the blue line with this red line. That is actually not that good. RSI is pointed up pretty heavily though, so we have a mixed signal here basically. And let's take a look at the 4-hour time frame. It is very heavily pointed to the upside here on the stochastic, and as well as the RSI. So looking good on the 4-hour time frame. 1-hour time frame, it has just crossed this red line with this blue line here, so that is not good. And the RSI is kind of flirting with being overbought. So Yeah, not good. Now 15-minute time frame, really low time frame, not the most reliable time frame. Blue line on stochastic has just crossed the red line to the upside and is still slightly in that oversold territory. But the RSI is overheated. So again, mixed signal. So what do I take from this, guys? Let me zoom in here a little bit. It's going to be a little bit hard to break this resistance here. Now, this was the bottom resistance that I kept here on this chart. Let's kind of zoom out in the 4 hour. Let's see, we still have an hour and 35 minutes here on this candle. And have we sealed at least a 1 hour candle above it yet? Yeah, we have, but then we fell back under it last hour. So again, it's fighting here. But if it can seal maybe a 4 hour candle above this, maybe it's got a chance to get up to about 93 cents. I don't think it's going to get any higher than that. I just don't see it getting above the $1 resistance without any real news. Now, one more indicator to consider, guys, is the MACD. Now, you can see if we zoom in here, we do have some solid dark green candles here, and that's a good sign. This blue line avoided crossing this red line too back in June, so it is pointed, pretty heavily to the upside, I would say. And yeah, still in this, green period here. It had a couple of green waves, and I believe it's about to start that next wave, at least on a monthly time frame. Now, if we go to the weekly time frame, we do have some green candles again. The blue line is pointed pretty heavily to the upside, so again, it's good in my opinion. On the daily time frame, we are just getting out of a red period. So yeah, actually what's interesting is yesterday was a dark red. Looked like it was about to start forming, I guess, a red wave. But yeah, avoided that now, and we have a blue line which is about to cross this red line at the moment. Now, Tezos is only up about 6.2% today. It's the number 124 coin at the moment, guys. It doesn't really have a max supply. That's one thing that I just don't really like about it. But, it's only got a circulating supply of a little bit more than 1 billion. So that's not too bad. Now, if we look at the all-time high, it was just over $9 here. So sitting about 90% down at the moment. Now, I don't remember how many coins it had when it was, $9, but I'm sure it wasn't a billion. But, if I had to guess where Tezos could make it, I would say it can make it a few bucks at least, maybe $3, $4, $5. This bull run at a minimum. If it's a good project, though, maybe it exceeds it. Maybe it proves me wrong. But right now, being 90% down, I'm going to say it's probably not going to exceed its all-time high. Now, before I go a little farther in this video, guys, you can claim some bonuses on my favorite crypto exchanges below. Of course, if you use my links, I do get some commission. It's a very small commission, guys. And you can also find a free 7-day trial here with MEXC, guys, and you can follow me on X here. Now, jumping over to Bitcoin, guys, you can see that it is fighting this resistance here at about $119,422 today, and it does have another resistance on a daily time frame above that at $119,924. So if we can seal a weekly candle at least above this, or a daily candle above this point, then I think we'll continue more to the upside, guys. Now, taking a look at the CME here. We do still have a gap. It is no longer $2,000. It's only about an $850 gap. So plus minus, guys. Not exact, but there is still a gap. It's not as significant as before, where you had $2,000. But yeah, does this need to get filled now? Who knows? It's a small gap. So let's see. Now, jumping over to Ethereum, guys, you can see that we have cleared this zone basically, and we've cleared it pretty good. We've sealed a weekly candle above it and well above it. And now this weekly candle is surging as well. We are breaking the $4,300 mark and sitting around $4,400 at the moment. Now, what we need to do is seal, weekly candles above about 46.40 here, the top of this Fibonacci. After that, guys, I think we're going to see some, good upside with Ethereum. Now, the total market cap is sitting at 3.94 trillion. If we can seal a daily candle above 3.92 trillion, that would be excellent. Now, the total market cap, excluding Bitcoin, sitting at 1.56 trillion. Again, it still has a couple of resistances to the upside to break. Now, the Bitcoin quarterly returns and Ethereum quarterly returns, you can see here, Ethereum has done a lot better than Bitcoin lately. But, you know, Bitcoin is still doing good. However, if we look at the month, it's only about 2.1% up. But again, the average is 1.78% for Bitcoin. Now, one of the best pieces of news, guys, you can see that the dominance is breaking down at least on the daily candle once again. Now, we need a weekly candle below this line. This is a weekly support for it. So if we put this on a weekly time frame, you can see it did get support here the last week. However, it is breaking down at the moment. So we'll take it step by step. Today is Tuesday, so we still have, you know, what, 5 days and 10 hours here, as you see, so like 5.5 days. It's still a long time. Anything can happen, but the longer the candle that we seal below this line, the better. Now, as for the USDT dominance, we are getting a breakdown here, but we need to break this local low here at about 4.13%. We're sitting at 4.18 at the moment, but the next support is 3.8%. Now, if we put this on a weekly time frame, we have actually sealed a weekly candle below 4.31. So that's the difference between USDT dominance and the Bitcoin dominance. Now, it feels like the altcoin season index is broken because it's still at 39. It's been that for like a day and a half, almost 2 days probably. So again, 39, I don't know what's going on with it. Liquidation heat map, if we do 24 hours here, 390 million have been wrecked in the last 24 hours. Mainly it's ETH, guys. So ETH is really surging, so be careful, especially if you're shorting ETH. Now, fear and greed here is a 68 today. Yesterday was a 70, so it has cooled down. Next update in about 9.5 hours. Bull market peak indicators still 0 from 30 have been hit, guys, so it's still 100% hold. And the Pi cycle top indicator, we can zoom in all day, guys, and still it has not crossed. So don't worry. Now, tomorrow on the economic calendar, we really have nothing going on except Bostic is speaking. However, if we look at Moodix, guys, we had a good CPI reading today. It was 0.2725 positive. That is huge, guys. However, we did have some bits of news that pulled the sentiment from risk on, as I showed on Twitter today, back to, what is this, risk off. Now, it's a light red, but the trend is fading again. So that is not good, guys, although today is still positive, and the week also, again, you know, it's still risk off sentiment at the moment. But yes, we did have risk on earlier today. Now, looking at FedWatch tools, guys, this has actually been updated, and it's about 94.2% believing we are going to get at least a quarter point cut here. So we need to see what happens also on Thursday. That is PPI. Also, if we look at Trueflation, guys, 1.83% here, at least on Trueflation. And yeah, I mean, it looks like, you know, the Fed needs to really be cutting at least a quarter point, maybe even a half point. We still have another CPI, and we're going to have 2 PPIs before the next meeting, guys. So anything can happen. Now, looking at crypto bubbles, the only thing that's really surging is XTZ and Link, and it's not really surging, we can say. But yeah, mostly we do have a red day today, unfortunately. But the week, month, and year are still green here. Now, if you want to stake your Tezos, guys, go to Coinondo. There's actually 29 deals that it has found. And just be careful wherever you send your coins, guys. Sometimes this is not updated, so you do have to be careful. And they do have limits and things and lockup periods. And check that out. Do your homework. And anyways, guys, like, subscribe, activate the bell. Share this video with your friends. Like I said, check out some of those deals that I have below. Of course, like I said, if you use those links, I do get some commission. It's very small though, guys, but it helps keep me motivated. It helps keep this channel going. And guys, I really appreciate it. We're really close to 1,500 subscribers now. We've gotten a couple more since last night. And guys, I will see you guys in the next one.